You can't deliver real results to your seller if you're afraid to tell them the truth. Today, we're going to talk about how to switch from people pleaser over to trusted advisor and get your listing sold. This one you want to pay attention to. Welcome to the Listing Blueprint Podcast, the show for real estate agents who want to become top-tier listing agents and build a business driven by systems and not stress. I'm your host, Jeremy Reed, managing broker, 16-year realtor, and creator of the Listing Blueprint Fastest Path to Sold. Every episode, I break down one practical strategy or framework you can use to win more listing appointments, price with confidence, market with intention, and sell homes faster in any market. If you're ready to elevate your listing game and run your business like a pro, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So today we're going to talk about one of the biggest mindset shifts I ever made in my career, which is switching out of people-pleasing mode and starting to be a real advisor. And because I came with a sales background, I came from hard alternative selling, close the deal or you're never getting it again type sales when I was 18 and 19, and transitioned over to real estate later on, bringing those same skill sets. What I found was at the start of my career, I was really good at closing the deal. I could get listings. I could get people to sign up under me. The problem was I wasn't selling these listings because I was in the mode of salesman, trying to make people like me, trying to tell them what they want to hear, trying to get the commitment that they're going to sign on the dotted line. And the problem is that I didn't realize at the time is that's just where the work starts. Getting the listing signed is where my job starts, not where it ends. And that's a big mindset shift as salespeople, because when you're completely depending your success on how many listings you have or how many listings you get signed at the table, and you're not focused on the real important metrics, which is how many of them are selling and how close to asking are they selling, how fast are they selling, the things that really matter to sellers, you can actually do yourself more harm than good, because it does nothing for you to have 25 or 30 listings that are just sitting out on the market not selling, with sellers that are getting frustrated because they have no reason to recommend you. They're not going to tell their friends and family to go through that same experience with you of just hearing what they want to hear, frustration, not knowing why their house is selling, them having to come back to you. Do you think we should do a price reduction? We try a few price reductions. People still aren't interested. By the time they sell, they think, holy cow, people just really didn't like my house. And really what happened was the conversation at the start wasn't set. The expectation wasn't set. So they went in completely not knowing what to figure out. And all of my sellers were basically relearning the market on their own the hard way to finally get to a sale. Nobody wants to put their friends and family through that. So then as soon as I made that shift from salesman to advisor, and really the shift is fairly simple. The key thing with that shift is detaching from the outcome. Realizing that your job starts once the listing is signed, and how you set the tone to get that listing signed will dictate whether they have a good experience or a bad experience. So I don't want to take a listing with the wrong expectations, because I know that's going to be frustration for them, that's going to be frustration for me, that's going to hurt my reputation. I want to go in with eyes wide open. Now, a key point of this is that the seller should and always will decide the price of their home when I list it for them. They're going to ask my opinion. And as a strategist, I need to bring forward what I know about the market, but I have to be honest about what I know with the market. And if they choose that they want to list a little bit higher or a lot higher, whatever it is, than my recommendation, two things need to happen for me to be okay with that listing. Number one, they have to understand what the target is, what we're trying to do. So if we're going to go up to that price point, we need to know there's some level of success and that it's a small percentage of success. So we might be positioning ourselves that only 5% of the market is going to be interested in the home. If that's the case and they're okay with that, and they realize that that means that we're probably going to have 20, 25 showings, and 22 to 23 of those are going to tell us we're overpriced. As long as they understand that, that's okay. Number two is there has to be a real chance that I can sell it. There has to be a reason why we're pricing there. And this is a big part for me, and I talked about it in one of the earlier episodes. If I'm not mentally sold that that home is worth that, even if it's just to a small percentage, but if I can't picture one part of the market that is actually going to be interested in that price, I can't represent them, because that would make me a bad advisor. Because what am I going to do when someone shows up and says, why are you priced $50,000 more than all the neighbors? And my only answer is, that's just where the seller wanted to start. That's weak. I didn't want to be that guy. I was that guy for a long time. I didn't want to be that guy anymore. I got nothing. But the truth was, when I was a salesman, I was just worried about inking it. 50,000, fine. Let's just put it on. Let's see. And then you're that realtor that's out dangling, hey, they're open to offers. Like, bring me something, bring me anything. And you're just waiting for them to get mentally exhausted from having so many people through the home that they make a decision to drop their price, or they accept an offer that's lower. That's not the way we want our sellers to feel. We want them to feel empowered and feel like they're moving forward with a strategy that's actually going to work. So if I'm not mentally there, I walk away. Not because I don't want the listing, because I tell them you should list with someone else that believes in this price, because I can't properly represent you. I need to mentally get there, or I can't. Now, think about what I'm telling you right now. If those are my only two objectives, they need to know why we're pricing, they need to be informed, and they need to have some kind of strategy behind what we're doing so I can properly represent them, so I can do my job properly. I'm not that concerned whether they list with me or not. In fact, if they don't feel like they should list with me, I don't think they should. I think the process is so collaborative that if there's no chemistry between us, if we're not going to be able to sit down, we're going to be talking regularly. Remember that. If you're a client of mine, we're going to be talking regularly. We better like each other. We better enjoy each other's company. We better be collaborative and talking about how we're going to get this over, because especially in this market, you're going to be tied to each other for a little while. If you get an offer early, great, but it's not always happening. So if that chemistry is not there, they shouldn't list with me, and they shouldn't list with you either. They should feel like this is going to be a team effort and feel good about what they're going to get for the outcome. Now, another thing that kind of detached me from this is I realized a lot of people have already made their mind up. So if they're going to interview 3 agents, a lot of them have a favorite already. They've got a favorite, and then they've got 1 or 2 others that they're just doing their due diligence. Now, sometimes you're going to get that deal. If you read The Full Fee Agent, which is a great book that I'm actually rereading right now, it talks about that every seller has a favorite, and it's got the due diligence. The fool is what they call it. Sometimes you're going to do everything right, and they're not going to go with you. That's just the reality of it. So why get so detached and so worried about it? It just is what it is. People are going to choose what is best for them. When I'm not worried about winning the business, when I don't put my success or failure on whether they list with me, I empower myself to close more listings, because if it's not them, then I'll find someone else that wants to work with me. That's okay. It totally takes that pressure off. And now you're sitting down, and maybe their favorite comes in, and their favorite still really wants to be liked, and their favorite wants to be a salesman, and they're convincing them that they should work with them. And they spend 2 hours, and an hour and a half of that is them just talking about the listing presentation and the marketing and all this. And then they sit down with me, and I've got this structure set out, and I said, okay, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what your goals are. Let's talk about what you're trying to achieve, because the more information that I have, the better I can advise you of how we're going to do this, because I want to try to do this the funnest we can. I want to make it as stress-free as we can, and I want to be able to get this over the line for you guys however you feel is the best for your situation. So I just need to understand that. And then we're going to talk about the market. I'm going to educate you on the market so you know exactly what's going on, and then you guys are going to pick the price. And it's important that you pick the price, and it's important that I educate you enough that you understand why you're picking the price. So that's kind of the outline of what we want to go over today. It's a completely different feeling. You see people just, okay, I'm not across the table from a salesman that's going to try to convince me, because they know, they can feel it. I'm okay to say no. This is genuinely just to figure out whether we're a good fit and whether my marketing strategy fits with you, and for you to make some decisions to help you move forward on what you want to do. Now, the second thing I really want to talk about is how you approach the advice that you give them. And this is everywhere. This is in the media. This is everything you see on social media. If you look at what the video is or the person is, everyone's got an intent of persuasion behind. They want you to do something. So as they're talking, their intent is to try to get you to take action one way or the other. We need to remove that if we want to be absolutely clear as advisors. If we want to be the best at what we do, we need to take out the persuasion intent, which means we need to stop trying to guide them towards one side or the other. So the way I like to think about it, because it's the only way I could get myself completely clear, is before I give any type of recommendation, I think about if my grandmother was sitting in front of me, or another person like me, and I was giving them advice. I was giving my grandma advice on what was going to be the best for their future based on my understanding of her situation. That same advice is the same I'm going to try to give to my clients. It cuts through the noise. It cuts through your inner dialogue of like, oh, I really want this listing, or I need this sale, or I need them to list this at the right price. And it says, okay, what's the absolute best advice that I can give based on my understanding? When you start giving that kind of advice, people can feel it. It's a subconscious thing, but we're so used to always being persuaded that when there is no persuasion, when it's a genuine intent of just helping and trying to give really clear advice, like you're my best friend and I'm trying to just tell you what you should do, there's a connection that happens that you won't understand until you do it. Because if you've ever had someone that gave you real advice, you probably can think of one or two people off the top of your mind. Those conversations stick. And why do they stick? Because it was really what you needed to hear, and you could feel they were coming from a place of where they really wanted to help you. They weren't trying to get something from you. They weren't trying to convince you to go one way or the other. They weren't showing you too fast, but trying to nudge you to the right. This is how I see it. These are your two choices. This is what I see if you go left. This is what I see if I go right. Based on what you're telling me, it seems like going right is going to make the best choice. But what do you feel understanding these scenarios? Which path do you want to take? Total autonomy, just helping them make that decision to go left or right. Now, the third thing, and this is the one that it helps me, it helps my sellers, and it's going to help you, because if you're listening to this, you probably are already thinking, man, I've got these listings, they're priced too high, they're not taking my advice, they're not taking my recommendations. And this goes into the third part of this, which is you may be blocking yourself before you even realize it, because we're people pleasers. Be totally honest. Totally honest. And I check myself on this all the time, and still to this day, I have this problem. If I was not afraid to hurt their feelings, would I be telling them what I'm telling them? And the answer is no. I like to be nice. I like to help people, obviously, but I also don't want conflict. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a natural people pleaser, which means that I don't want to make them upset. I want to make sure that every conversation we have leaves them feeling better than when we interacted at the start. Problem with that is when we're having real conversations about what's happening, and I'm getting feedback from clients or from realtors and their clients, and they're giving us something, and I don't want to just tell them the bad news. It's not helping them. It's not helping me. But because, again, the expectations aren't set, we're in this weird place where I'm navigating, and I'm sitting there and I'm writing a text message because maybe they're texters, or I'm thinking about a conversation. I'm thinking, how am I going to word this so I don't offend them, so I don't get them upset with me, so they don't throw their hands up and say, you're not doing your good enough job, we're going to go with someone else. How do I get away from all that, put it in a soft way, but have them see the truth? That game is exhausting. It's exhausting. And if you're doing this on a high level, if you really want to grow to 25 or 30 listings, you're going to get exhausted. And here's the other side that happens with this. Some realtors, when they get to that level, they go ice cold. They don't have any more empathy. They've been through it. You talk to someone that's listing 200, 300, 400 homes a year, and some of them are still amazingly good, and some of them are like, I don't care. I'm just telling you what it is. This is how it is. You do what you want to do with it. And if they get fired, they don't care. They just completely shut off. What I want to do as I scale up is I want to stay empathetic. I don't want to get drained, but I don't want to play this draining game of trying to jump around your feelings so that I can't give you the truth. So here's the key to this. If you really want to up your game on this, and this can happen at any time in the relationship, but ideally it happens at the very start. What I started saying to my clients, we're going to go to market. And when we go to market, there's a couple of things that are going to happen. Either we're going to get an offer, or we're going to get some feedback. Now, that feedback is going to tell us what the buyers are feeling. If we get too much of some feedback, we need to adjust. If new listings come up on the market, we need to adjust. If anything changes in the market from right now, which could happen in like 48 hours, the market's changing all the time, things come up, new listings, I need to be able to tell you. And the problem is I'm a people pleaser. And my job, my ability to do my job relies solely on my ability to take the most relevant information and bring it to you. Because here's the thing, 80, 90% of the market isn't doing that. They're just waiting a certain amount of days and then they're reacting. And listings are coming up tomorrow that are putting them in a bad position, and they're not adjusting because they're playing this time game. I don't want to play the time game. I want to be a like next to you advisor watching the market in real time and making adjustments, because that's going to put us ahead of 90% of the competition. The problem is, because I'm a people pleaser, I will hijack myself by trying not to hurt your feelings. So what I'm asking is, going forward, can I just get your permission to bring you the right information, the truth? Can I just speak openly to you? And I want to be able to just be blunt. Like, for instance, if we have 6 people that all come through and they just said the price is too high, I just want to be able to tell you that. The last 6 buyers said the price is too high. Doesn't mean we have to adjust, Maybe we want to go through more showings, but I need to tell you that because if we're consistently getting that, we need to adjust. And if I can communicate that to you, then we adjust. I hope that doesn't happen, but if that is, I need to be able to tell you. So can I just be honest with you as we go forward? Can we just get into a space where it's okay for me to just tell you the real information? Because if you allow me to do that, I'm going to do a better job for you. You're going to get a better result, and we're both going to be a lot happier at the end because it saves a ton of frustration when you really know what's happening. Once that permission is set, I run with it because now I don't have to play that game. I can send quick text. Hey, just a quick update. 2 listings came up today. I'm a little concerned about them. Both of them are the same square footage. Both of them are in a similar area. One of them's a little more updated. I think we should watch this, but this might be something we need to react to. If I can just send that text and they go, okay, let's jump on a call and have a conversation. Now we can adapt. And if you've watched any of my listings, you've seen this. I've had listings that I've literally adjusted $100,000 48 hours after we listed. And it wasn't because I felt I was wrong when I listed it. We were trying a plan. This literally happened like 5 months ago. Everything was looking good. We're a go. We go in at a price, $1,295,000. We check the market that morning, nothing. We go to market on a Wednesday. By Thursday afternoon, 2 other competitors with the exact same features, pool, location, everything came up for $100,000 less. By the time we got to Friday, we did a price reduction. We hadn't even had showings through yet, but we looked at those, did drive-bys, and we're like, we can't compete. All we're going to do is help these guys sell. So we made the adjustment. Was that wrong? No, because we had to adapt in real time. We didn't have the information on Wednesday. We had it on Thursday. We adapted on Friday. So these are just some of the scenarios that can happen. But if you can get your mindset around that, and what I would tell you to act on right now, if you have this in your scenario, call your seller and have this conversation with them and say, hey, I'm watching the market. What is it now? We're November. We wanted to get this done by the end of the year. The beautiful part is the buyers that come through over the next 4 to 5 weeks are the most serious buyers, 100%. No one's coming out in mid-December unless they're serious about buying a home. Also, a lot of our competition is going to drop off the market. But we haven't got an offer yet, and it concerns me. And I want to make sure that I'm being totally honest and forthcoming with you on everything. So over these next 4 to 5 weeks especially, can I just get your permission to be 100% honest? And we just touch base regularly, every 2 days if we need to. Like, I just want to, in real time, tell you what's happening so that we can navigate this together. Because if we do this right, we should be able to get an offer before Christmas. But we need to take all the feedback that we've gotten so far, look at it through a reality lens, and then over the next 4 to 5 weeks, make sure that we get that sale so we end the year with a sold sign in your front yard. These kind of things are going to make a big difference. They're going to make a big shift in your mindset. You're going to close more listings. You're going to get a lot from this. As always, if you want more structure, if this type of information resonates with you and you're like, yeah, I like the way this is all positioned and put together, the listing blueprint, it's my course that I put together. It's the 6-week selling system broken down from intake to final key delivery. You get to connect with me. We got a cool little community that'll bring it all together for you. But the course itself, if you just take that and implement it, and especially now being in November, do that, you'll have it all set up for the new year because it's not going to take you that long. It's a good portion, of course, is a good toolkit and everything that comes with it, but it doesn't take a lot of time to go through. The key with it is to keep going through it. Go through it once, go through it twice, go through it 3 times. So it can be kind of your companion all through 2026. But the link's in the description. Go to Listing Blueprint, buy that now. It's on for $295. And then I'll see you guys on the next podcast because hopefully you're following for more and we'll continue to do these shows. All right, guys, have a good day.